This is the kind of game where there is a right way and a wrong way. It's the kind of game that will kick your ass and won't apologise for it. It's the kind of game that will kill you repeatedly over and over and over until you learn the right way. Sounds fucking dreadful. I've been looking forward to it. All I can say is there must be a shit ton of people out there that love dropping dead every 2 seconds. I'm one of them. First you'll build your own character. Yeah, William's gone. Well, unless you do have him. Make your character your own unique creation, male or female, fill in all the lovely details and spend the entire game not being able to see any of them. Yeah. See, unlike other games of its general type, Nioh gives you 3 stances to work with. The high stance is high damage, but it's slower. And then the mid stance is designed as a more balanced approach. The low stance is designed more for evasion, light strikes, but high speed. Weapons also have unique special moves and attacks. All this reinforces the idea that the high stance attacks, the mid stance defends, and the low stance evades. Chi pulsing. Incredibly important, just as it was in the first game. The idea is your attacks drain your chi, your energy, equivalent of your stamina in other games. Your attacks drain that chi very quickly, but you can recover a large portion of it back if you press R1 with the right timing. That's what's known as a chi pulse. If you've equipped too much weight in armor, it stops you from chi pulsing, like here. This is a low-level spearman. You can see how awkward it is to fight him off, and he's one of the easiest opponents in the whole game. That's not all. Perfect chi pulses grant stance bonuses. Certain weapons have special pulse moves. Chi pulse, all the time. You don't, you're a moron. Oh, and you can turn into a yokai this time as well. Combat is pretty much the same as in the first game. Damn near flawless. That is to say, I did find a flaw in it. Well, it's either a flaw or I'm a fucking genius. To be clear, I was trying to get him into the open space outside the shrine, so I had some room to maneuver. But once I discovered I could outrun him, you know, for a game that kicks your ass so hard it ends up in orbit, I found it so joyous to be able to cheat, even if it only was for a couple of minutes. Rest of the game doesn't let you do it though. There's quite a few what I would call quality of life changes since the original game. Little tweaks and little tightening up of things here and there, just little improvements. Body is now called Constitution, which is a completely pointless change since it does exactly the same thing as before. Spirit has disappeared entirely, replaced by Courage. Spirit upgrades are instead now earned through 2 abilities added together, totaling a certain amount. Those abilities are usually aligned with the spirit's design, for example combat or evasion. General combat skills, which affect all weapons, are now under the separate samurai tree, so you don't have to guess which ones they are anymore. And instead of a really long page of upgrades, the skill trees are easier to read and you can see what's happening with them. Skill points can now only be spent on the weapon that earned them. And now the only way to earn ninjutsu and omnio magic points is by using those skills in the field. That's a lot of changes. But as a result, the whole system feels a lot more natural. Progression feels more natural. If you want to practice something, a new skill or a new weapon, whatever, just get on with it. If you suddenly decide that you want to practice magic near the end of the game, you don't have to spend time killing 6,000 bad guys, high level enemies, to earn the 1.2 million Amrita to go up one level, so you can spend that one skill point on your magic stat. You don't need to do any of that anymore. All you have to do is go into your inventory, get a fire amulet, apply the fire effect to your sword, and just use it. You just use the magic, and you develop the skill points. You're not the only one with improvements though. Enemies now have unblockable attacks in their arsenal. Best ways of dealing with unblockables is to either be in the next country over, or use your special Yokai dodge / interrupt move. You can also gain soul cores from defeated enemies, which grant you one of the yokai's special attacks. So you can block unblockable moves and you can steal the enemy's moves. Speaking of the enemy, their designs are very varied. You'll see some familiar faces, but thanks to those new unblockable moves, don't assume you know what they're going to do. Bosses are varied as well in size, shape, the nature of their attacks of course, and as a result can be a huge pain in the arse. God damn that fucking serpent. This boss killed me 11 times over the course of over an hour. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound like much, but it felt like a hell of a lot more than that. Also, enemies are skilled in combat, but for some reason they're oblivious to flame. And if you have an internet, you've got to check out the online mode. By the way, everyone playing online has a female character. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. As far as I'm concerned, the original game was a masterpiece. It blew the likes of Demon Souls and Bloodborne out of the water. Still haven't played the Dark Souls trilogy, never going to get round to it now. But it had so much to it, and this game is pretty much a carbon copy. Plus, you get all the yokai moves, plus all those little quality of life improvements, the little tightening up of the systems. This game is more streamlined than ever, and I really don't see any reason to give it a different score. Because it is pretty much the same game, just with some refinements and little additions here or there. I still love it to bits, and just like the first game, I am absolutely not going to finish it. I'm just not. I'm resigned to the fact that I'm never going to finish a Souls game ever. It's just not going to happen. So, that was Nioh 2, or Nioh, whatever. I think it's Nioh, how it's pronounced. Anyway, that was the second game. 10 out of 10 masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. What did you think of the game? Leave a comment down below. What did you think of my video? Leave a like or dislike. And if you like the kind of thing that you see, you can always subscribe. Or if you want to inflict me on someone else, you can always share. See you next time. Weapons also have unique special moves and attacks. I could not get that to roll. It didn't sound right, that. I wrote it. I wrote it into the script, but no. Ugh, didn't roll off the tongue properly. That's the ceiling. I'm having to lean back a bit to not hit it. This is really long. It's like that long. It's massive.